Resolved, the United States federal government should enact a minimum standard of tiers of jail time for the knowledgeable agriculture and pollution of public waterways to a significant extent by or in a commercial operation and require prosecution in a criminal court. What?
Said that from memory. That's scary.
I'm the 1A.
I know. I'm also the 1A.
And you don't have your plain text memorized? What a shame. What a shame.
We've
This is a stand and deliver one.
Yeah, stand and deliver, Rathmore.
Dang. Okay.
Oh no, you already presented.
No.
Sit down. Sit back down.
No.
No, what?
Where's your
Quit
camera?
touching my stuff.
Where is your camera? It's not just restart the thing. Restart it.
No.
Yes.
Go ahead. Do it again.
No. Just
Yes,
restart
do it again.
No, restart it.
Do it again.
Restart it.
I'm not restarting it.
Okay, I will not be presenting.
Awesome. I'll go ahead and do
No,
mine, please.
restart it.
No.
I will just record on my computer.
No,
But-
just say it into it. It's
No,
only been a minute
dude.
and 7 seconds.
Still, like
So-
you'll be
so say it.
saving a minute.
A whole minute?
A whole minute.
You know what I could do with a minute?
Well, we're wasting time right now.
Yeah, so say it again. Stand up and say it again.
I'm not gonna even bother arguing with you right now. Resolved, the United States federal government should enact a minimum standard of tiers of jail time for the knowledgeable agriculture pollution. Wait, cut that. Resolved, the United States federal government should enact a minimum standard of tiers of jail time for the knowledgeable agriculture and pollution of public waterways to a significant extent by or in a commercial operation and require prosecution in a criminal court.
Just so you know,
Happy now.
I'm gonna clickbait this for the title. It's gonna be funny.
Don't you even.
Oh, I'm so tall. Look at me. Okay. Starting now. U.S. agriculture sector strong now and key to COVID recovery. Survin 21. Livelihoods of 40 million Americans were directly or indirectly dependent on food and agricultural industries. Throughout the global pandemic, America's food and agriculture sectors have worked tirelessly, feeding America's families and our economy. Link: federally regulating farmers is the biggest threat to farm bottom lines during 2016. Efforts by federal government to regulate agriculture is the biggest challenge facing farmers. Set a dangerous precedent. Regulation from the EPA infringe on farmers and saddle them with higher costs. Agricultural industry is pushing costs onto its water users. Then U.S. agriculture key to global agriculture and economy post-COVID, Hall 2020. Global challenges are more and more integrated. The closing of markets led to post-harvest losses that hurt producers and limit food access. Food access and affordability will be threatened. Crisis levels of hunger could increase. Strong food policy systems are for mitigating impacts to local resilience and the economy. Ensure the continuity of food transports across borders. Countries are able to build up food systems back better, equipped with sufficient resources for managing recovery. Recovery efforts support food systems that, to be shock responsive, they can take a hit. Internal link: U.S. competitiveness and innovation key to democratic tech alliances and AI norms. To Labit 21. The United States can and should rediscover the openness that defined its entrepreneurial past. The United States need to protect for space, for innovation, for intellectual property, and the creative genius that thrives with the free exchange of ideas in open democratic societies. Less braiding from Washington and more creating. Link: lack of U.S. impact. Lack of U.S. innovation leads to extinction. Jane and Corey, 2019. The United States allies have the power and influence necessary to signify shape. New technologies, including AI, robotics, quantum computing, and biotech, will bring serious risks, including fully autonomous weapons. These killer robots threaten humans' very existence. The existing international system must be updated to deal with these technologies. The United States has been the world's most innovative country, but it is at risk of losing to China. If China or another country takes the lead in the new tech arms race, Beijing may be in a better position to rewrite the international system's rules. Thank you.
Should just start doing that after every speech.
Oh,
I
man.
don't like this. My timer. I'm not gonna even do this. Yeah, you got 4 minutes too, so it's only fair. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Why did you just give me that one?
Oh, no reason.
Stop. I made this in like 5 minutes. Don't even judge me right now. I don't need your judgment. Okay, for a quick off-time roadmap, I will be going over the Farmers DA and then moving on to the impact that the negative poses. So 3, 2, 1. To begin with, farmers to get. Agriculture is resilient, but letting it decline is better for the economy. Sheldon 19. The U.S. economy is transitioning away from agriculture. Compared to STEM jobs, occupation in the primary or secondary sections pay a very low wage. Difficult manual labor poses both short-term and long-term risks to workers' health compared to the almost complete lack of health detriments presented by jobs in STEM fields. These agriculture jobs tend also to be seasonal. Workers will only have a secure source of income for between 3 and 6 months per year. As the economy sheds the remnants of its ag-centric past, new jobs are being created in new industries at a rapid pace. They provide higher wages, a more stable source of income, and employment year-round. Humans will also have a need to consume agriculture products. These lower levels processes simply be outsourced to less developed countries. Judge, there is no uniqueness to the affirmative plan, and their link shall be disregarded, for it serves no purpose and does not link to the affirmative plan. The affirmative plan helps ag and the economy. Agriculture is just a small part of the economy, like the Sheldon 19 card mentions. And as the card says, the U.S. economy is transitioning away from agriculture sectors, which are seasonal too, and moving to STEM jobs. STEM fields. And then moving on to impact. U.S. ag subsidies undermine innovation. Criminalization does the opposite. Finney 21. Innovation Act is imperative for the future of the nation. Currently, as Ag's incentive to innovate, there's little financial incentive for the industry to invest in innovation. There's also a general lack of pressure to innovate from consumers, policymakers, and other outside forces. The industry is suffering from innovation complacency. If regulatory change Ag then aligned with reducing environmental degradation and the harmful financial effects of water pollution. U.S. innovation leads the way. Empirics prove it'll be modeled internationally and rebuild alliance relationships. Goldston and Oak in 21. Food security would require advances in tech and innovation within the U.S. government. The U.S. has historically used food policy to strengthen its relations with allies. The U.S. is once again poised to use its of-innovation ag policy to both enhance its influence with friends and allies. The United States should leverage its capital and innovation to accelerate the transition to food sustainability and amplify American influence abroad. Biden needs to drive regulatory policies that encourage the transition to sustainability, including broader implementation of ag practices. American innovation in food security would countershine its growing economic and geopolitical and tech competition. Judge, the negative and the DA does not work here in this scenario. The neg impact turns. Our plan literally helps innovation and alliances. Alliances help innovation. There will be no extinction when the impact is turned, and innovation is a part of the affirmative plan. The impact is simply turned, and that should and will flow to the affirmative team. Judge, what does count is great trouble and extinction that the inherency causes, and AF is the only one being able to solve for that. The plan works, and let that flow to the affirmative team. Thank you. I'm literally getting all sorts of messages.
Yeah, they're mostly from Ken.
That's literally from our case.
Yeah.
Another example is Vietnam. Globalization has contributed to an increase in the presence of poor rice, lifting many poor rice farmers out of poverty. As the standard of living increased, more children of poor families left more to get to school.
You mean the term?
Not a direct term, but
Yeah, it says criminalization improves innovation.
Regardless of the downside, globalization is here to stay. The result is a smaller, more connected world. Socially, globalization has affected the exchange of ideas and cultures, contributing to a worldview where people are more open to tolerate one another. This part is simply showing that one, globalization is a good thing. It has its benefit. It's not
those are only the
downside.
three of us.
And two, that even if globalization is a bad thing, it's already happening.
Okay.
Globalization has been shown in many industries such as the automotive industry and many other industries that already exist. It did not pass plan to solve this problem. As it already experienced status quo.
You need this.
As well as it mainly focuses on as globalization helps other countries out of poverty.
Judge, I'd like to start off by kind of explaining a hole in the affirmative's argument. First of all, they say that agriculture is resilient, but letting it decline is better. And then they immediately come back and say that U.S. agriculture is key to innovation, and their plan helps that. But you can't improve innovation and decline agricultural resources. So it just, like, both of these arguments just make no sense. So once again, they said there's no uniqueness to our plan, but clearly the U.S. agriculture sector is strong now. That is the uniqueness. Their plan is reducing it. They agree with the agricultural decline good. They're agreeing that their plan declines agriculture. Then regulation creates barriers to new economic growth. AFBF 11. EPA proposals are overwhelming to farmers and are creating a cascade of costly requirements, burdensome and unlawful nutrition management. EPA's proposals to expand the scope of water subject to federal regulation require costly and duplicative permits to the point of erecting barriers to economic growth. Now, essentially, Judge, their plan, this DA links directly to their plan because their plan is a federal regulation on farming practices, which is once again the biggest threat to bottom lines. Then moving on to another link and impact. Hostile federal signs cause farmers to prematurely cull crops, Wirtz 20. Farmers push for voluntary measures, tone of agency communications that says farming can harm the environment. Legislation that increase costs on farm businesses have little ability to raise their prices. Environmental policies for agriculture should go no further than voluntary measures. Judge, by passing the affirmative plan, it's causing these farmers to prematurely cull their crops, to prematurely take them up, to pull them out of the ground. By passing the affirmative plan, they're putting in more environmental policies, but the price of the crops is not raising, so they won't be making any more economic benefit off of it. Then, impact, food scarcity is the root cause of war. Frankulis, 18. Tensions arise from shortages of foods. When crops fall and prices rise, people lead to stealing, then riots. Social unrest and mass migrations. Agricultural production in relation to need is a security factor, and future forecasts indicate challenges. Society needs to increase food production. To reduce the number of conflicts, society must ensure food production. Food scarcity controls global conflict. Korean, 16. Lower crop yields increase the competition for remaining crops. Food security, salient cause of armed conflict. Sharp price increases cause food riot. Social upheaval. Food prices in these situations have especially destabilizing effects. High food prices expose the government's lack of ability to shield consumers. Civilizations mobilize against the regime. Rebel groups seek to appropriate local food supplies. Riots lead to civil war. All can be linked to food conflicts. Food scarcity shape global conflict patterns. So, Judge, let me once again tell you exactly, if you vote for the affirmative plan, what it's going to do. First of all, there will be a decrease in innovation in the agriculture industry. And this is key to not only global agriculture, but key to democratic tech alliances and AI norms, which, if there isn't as much as this, it'll lead to extinction. The affirmative even agrees themselves that U.S. innovation leads the way. If U.S. innovation, if there's a lack of it, then China, Beijing, will just take over, and now they will have more innovation. They will be ahead of the game. And this will lead to, leads to extinction. It leads to war. All these new technologies, AI, robotics, quantum computing, biotech, China will be ahead of us. It'll lead to killer robots, stuff like that. And then there will also be a food scarcity. There will be food scarcity because of their plan. Because their plan is causing farmers to prematurely cull crops, take them out of the ground, and then they either sell them for like extremely higher prices to cover the cost of the economic impact that the plan is having on them, these new practices they have to put in, or they just stop farming altogether, and that causes food scarcity. Thank you. Are you reading new cards into it?
You read new cards in your block.
Yeah, because it's my block.
Yeah, this is my block. So, well, it's not my block, but this is my one AR. See from this version. Okay, I'm trying to find a part that I cannot find right now.
Are you taking prep time? I'm just kidding. Just keep working.
You need to stop doing that. I hate how this part is not automatic. I'm gonna have to go over to your study during the lunch. Yeah, it should be in order. Okay. I think that will be all.
Water pollution is a global problem. It must be addressed globally. Goethe Rosa 19. Nearly 6 billion people will suffer from clean water. So we just need like
Wait, I've only 90 seconds? I
Yeah.
can't. Oh my god, I can't write a. I can't see a card. This is not funny.
Mr. King, your speech times are making Ravnor cry.
I can't read 2 cards in 90 minutes and elaborate. That's not gonna help it. I will cry, and you will be the reason why.
What did you say?
The 1AR, that's 90 seconds.
Hey, you want to read 2 cards to the 1AR?
He brought up 5 new cards in his last vlog. I need evidence to back me up.
Hey, I only brought up 4.
Oh, this is not fair. I should have at least 3 minutes. 2 minutes. At least 2 minutes.
Take 3 minutes to read 1AR. I don't care what the other
He looks actually good.
Say hi to the camera.
Hi, camera.
That's a trick.
Can I get 2 minutes, please?
No.
Pretty please.
No.
Oh, no. That breaks my heart.
This is actually one of the.
I will be spreading.
This is one of the points how many minutes to read is to illustrate. This is approximately how much time you have functionally.
Okay.
Oh, let me start a timer.
Shut up. I will be spreading, just so you know. I'm joking. I'm not gonna be spreading. I hate spreading.
Yeah, I know you can't.
Yeah, I don't think I can. Anyways, I can go pretty fast, but I can't spread. Okay. How do I? Okay, I actually need to think about this.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, you're about to just jump into this. Like,
I really thought 5 minutes, but I was like, I'll figure it out.
oh yeah, I'm also running T and case arguments against you, so this is the least of your worries.
Like right now?
Well, no,
You
like in a
can't.
normal round,
Oh.
I'd also be running case T, other dis
The
ads,
case,
a K,
like the K won't work. We already
I
tried
know.
that. It did not work.
Asian card, keep working.
Shut up. Decrease. Okay.
Oh, you changed it to the minute. No, I'm just kidding.
Multinationals in different parts of the world to build one product. They are working with
About 4.5. Yeah.
They have not addressed any of the benefits of globalization. Globalization
I can't think anymore.
towards a better economy.
I can't think
Maybe I
anymore.
should
My
have
name's
slept.
Lutz.
Maybe I should have slept.
Sleeping is for the weak, Ravnor.
Shut up. I did not sleep, Luke.
Yes, sleep is for the weak.
I will pass.
See, even Monty
I
agrees.
slept 11 hours the night before. So.
Instead of working on your IA,
Yeah.
you could have split it up 6 and 5.
Shut up.
Plus the 2 hours, so 7 and 7.
That's why I see no other option. So even if
I think if I just start, everything will make sense.
Okay.
I can't think it. I can't process information. I might just panic.
Just start insulting
Why did
me.
you make a whole list of points? This is unfair. I mean, I feel like I've already addressed like half of these at least. Okay. I can't get myself to think.
Of real speech time. I think the block is 13 minutes. 5 minutes is 30 seconds.
Huh.
90 seconds is 30
Okay, I'm ready.
30%,
Okay.
30%.
3, 2, 1. Judge, to begin with, the plan does not decrease in innovation at all. In fact, the affirmative plan, with the advantage of innovation, literally leads to better innovation and better economy. Now, moving on to the point of their ag is resilient, but declining is better, and they said that this does not make any sense. But yes, that could be happening. But agriculture's jobs are seasonal anyways. They don't even pay that well. Agriculture economy is moving from agriculture to STEM jobs, and therefore that argument does not make sense and is not valid, and let that flow to the affirmative team. Now moving on to I will be reading one of the cards that links to their extinction point. Alliances solve global nuclear wildlife proliferation and adventures. They're based in 17. Alliances are more helpful in terms of conflicts they prefer and the influence they confer. The most powerful benefits they provide come in the course time of peacetime geostrategic management. U.S. alliances bind the peacetime geostrategic management. They bind the most capable countries in the world to Washington through enduring relationships. Alliances create permanence for cooperation. They help Washington preserve a significant balance of power vis-a-vis any competitor. Alliances have a strong deterrent effect on the aggressors. Cut the card there for time's sake. Basically, what that card is saying that alliances, through innovation, which is advantage of the affirmative plan of we make good alliances, we make good relationships, and that helps prevent extinction. It helps prevent war. And with that said, I only see an affirmative valid. I did not even get to I only addressed 2 points.
Well,
This is not fair. I should get more than 90 seconds.
No, you're really shy.
I'm so tall.
Shut up.
Okay, starting now. First of all, the affirmative team said that alliances are important, and I completely agree. And by their plan, lead to a lack of U.S. innovation, which leads to a lack of alliances. It means that these important alliances that are, quote, stopping global nuclear war, wildlife proliferation, and adventurism are no longer working anymore because there's no innovation and there's food scarcity. Speaking of food scarcity, they also didn't respond to our food scarcity impact. So therefore, if you vote for the affirmative plan, there is a 100% chance that there will be food scarcity, there will be war, and then there will be global conflict. So then, once again, they also said that their plan doesn't increase innovation. Completely agree. It declines innovation, but then they're trying to say declining is good. But this is what leads to food scarcity, because less agriculture means less food. We need food to live. Without food, your body can't process protein. Your body can't process vitamins. Without food, you will die. You'll be starving. I would not be debating here today if I did not have food. Now, because the affirmative plan leads to food scarcity, leads to war, and leads to global conflict, I can only see a negative ballot. Thank you.
I am about to go at you. This is gonna be awesome.
I forgot that you had a speech after me. This is gonna suck.
I will scream. Okay. Judge, first of all, the water that the negative team is drinking is not even healthy. It has nitrate that leads to cancer and many diseases, and they will simply not be alive and be debating in this room right now. And we're just forcing that. We're just both forcing that thought by not passing the affirmative plan. The affirmative plan solves for all of the advantages that the affirmative proposes. There's also no decline. The declining in economy will actually be good for our country. That actually increases the economy. It makes the economy better. As the American economy is moving from agriculture to STEM jobs, as they pay better. That's good for our farmers. That's good for everyone. So let that flow to the affirmative team. That should flow to the affirmative team. Now, moving on to the affirmative plan causing war. Absolutely not. The affirmative plan, with the good innovation that it causes, actually leads to alliances which prevent war and wildlife proliferation and adventurism, as the affirmative states. Let that flow to the affirmative team. Moving on to my next point, their whole argument with food scarcity, but that's the affirmative plan actually helps that with passing the affirmative plan and innovation and agriculture in general with better as hold on, let me refer to a card. So as Finney 21 states, as well as Oaken 21, food security requires advances in tech, and with the affirmative plan, that is manageable, that is doable.